For more, let's bring in Senate Armed Services Committee member, the great Jim Banks from the state of Indiana. You know, usually we'd be talking Hoosier basketball right now. Unfortunately, we got a very serious situation going on across the country. You know, and frankly, I'm bemused by this notion that somehow this is not supported by the American people. You've heard Democrats like Chuck Schumer saying this is a divisive issue. I just haven't seen that. Have you?
No, not at all. In fact, the Democrats are proving over and over again that they are on the opposite side of the vast majority of the American people, whether it's supporting ICE and our law enforcement or it's keeping boys out of girls' sports. Kevin, that's what we're going to vote on today is an amendment to the Save America Act that would keep boys out of girls' sports. I have 3 daughters who are in high school and middle school. They play sports. This is the most common sense issue. And this bill, the Save America Act, is the most popular and common sense bill maybe ever to come to the Senate floor that supports voter ID in federal elections, keeps boys out of girls' sports, stops transgender surgeries on minors. These are common sense issues, and the Democrats are on the wrong side of every single one of them.
Well, I think a lot of Americans are hoping that this thing gets done because you're impacting a lot of Americans. With DHS shut down, I mean, you saw the lines there at the airports all over the country. Those of us who travel often certainly are aware of that. Let me switch gears, though, and chat just a bit about Epic Fury. You know, there was something interesting happened overnight. The Iranians were able to actually send a couple of missiles right down near Diego Garcia, which, of course, is several thousand kilometers away from the mainland of Iran. That's really raising some eyebrows, Senator, about the viability of the regime and the real risk for places like Europe. Your thoughts on that?
Well, it just goes to show that our work there isn't done yet. I mean, what we've seen in the last couple of weeks in the Operation Epic Fury is the most sophisticated military operation that we've ever seen. President Trump is the greatest commander-in-chief that we've had in generations. We've hit over 8,000 targets in Iran, but that strike last night just goes to show there's more work to do. President Trump has been very clear. We want this to end as soon as possible, but we're not going to end it until we wipe out Iran's ballistic missiles, their ability to pursue nuclear weapons, because we know that those nuclear weapons, if they ever get them, will be pointed at America and Americans, and then wipe out their ability to fund terrorism. To get back to funding the Department of Homeland Security here at home, we're at war with the biggest state sponsor of terrorism in the world, and the Democrats have shut down the Department of Homeland Security that keeps us safe right here at home in America. That's how crazy this is. It's time for the Democrats to come to the table. We're in the Senate working all weekend, hoping the Democrats will come to their senses and vote to reopen the Department of Homeland Security, get TSA agents paid, get our airports working, the Coast Guard, all of these important agencies. All the while, we have a war going on with the biggest sponsor of terrorism in the world. We still have work there to do.
You know, I know you to be very measured as an individual, a veteran, a father. I sense a deal of righteous indignation there in the way you're talking about the Democrats putting people at risk.
They really are. I mean, we've had attempted terrorist attacks on the mainland while the Democrats have shut down the Department of Homeland Security. I mean, as a father, as a veteran, and as a senator for Indiana, I mean, this is as crazy as it gets. These Democrats shutting down the department that was created after 9/11 to keep America safe while we have a war going on in Iran with the biggest state sponsor of terrorism that spreads. They fund Hezbollah, Hamas, terrorist groups around the globe that attack our allies in the Middle East and Europe and attempts to attack us here on the mainland. So President Trump is doing a great job to take out the targets and completely decimate the military in Iran. All the while the Democrats are shutting down our homeland security at home. It's really crazy.
You mentioned the president. Let me share a little sound. He said this on Friday and a bit of a gaggle, talking about where we are and where we could be headed next with respect to Epic Fury. Listen to this.
I think we've won. We've knocked out their Navy, their Air Force. We've knocked out their anti-aircraft. We've knocked out everything. We're roaming free. From a military standpoint, all they're doing is clogging up the strait. But from a military standpoint, they're finished.
He makes an important point there, though, Jim. He says, listen, we've done great militarily, but we have to clear the strait. 30 seconds left. What happens next there, and how can we get the oil flowing back to the world markets?
Well, this is where the full force of the American Navy, as a Navy veteran, we've got to use our Navy to project strength, and we need our allies to, like the Brits, to step up to the plate and help us out, because this affects oil prices in Europe just as it does in America. So we need our allies to step up. President Trump is pushing them to do that, clear the straits. But it just goes to show our work in Iran isn't done yet. We're close. And I trust President Trump. He's the greatest commander-in-chief we've had in my lifetime and in generations. We got to keep up the heat and do what we got to do to take out the capabilities in Iran, clear the straits, and then bring our troops home.
He's earned quite a bit of equity and belief among his followers and among many Americans, millions, tens of millions, and we'll see how things go moving forward. Obviously, we're all wishing the very best. Senator Jim Banks from the great state of Indiana. Next time we'll have you on, we'll talk basketball. And in the meantime, thank you for joining us today, my friend. We appreciate it.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Kane podcast for full episodes right now.